Welcome to Lesson 1 of Find Your Inner Compass. The worst kind of prison is the one you don't realize you're in. You wake up, go through the motions, pay the bills, and tell yourself this is just what being an adult feels like. But underneath the routine, there's a quiet ache, a sense that something essential has been misplaced. This is the prison of inertia, and it rarely announces itself with a loud bang. It starts with a slow, almost imperceptible fade. You put off a personal project because work exhausted you. You say yes to a social obligation that drains you because it's easier than explaining why you don't want to go. Each decision is a single grain of sand. But over years, those grains pile up to become a desert that buries you. This isn't about laziness. It's about a slow erosion of self-trust. Every time an impulse comes from your core, a genuine desire to build something, to move, to set a boundary, and you override it, your psyche learns a dangerous lesson. Your own inner signals are not to be trusted. Your prison isn't your job or your relationship itself. The prison is the internal mechanism that now automatically dismisses your own deepest drives. I know that feeling intimately because I lived it for years. I'd take a job that looked good on paper, something stable that made other people nod with approval. And within weeks, I'd feel my energy drain away. Not because the work was hard, but because it wasn't mine. I was trading hours for money while my real passions sat on a shelf, collecting dust. And every time I did that, a part of me would start to shut down. I'd get depressed, not in a dramatic, can't get out of bed way, but in a slow, creeping numbness that made everything feel gray. It took me a long time to connect the dots. My mental health wasn't a random thing. It was directly tied to whether I was honoring my inner drive for freedom and autonomy. When I ignored my own compass, my whole system revolted. Freedom is my highest core value I try to live by. Not freedom as some abstract political concept, but the daily, practical freedom to wake up and work on projects that light me up, to set my own schedule, to chase ideas that matter to me, to say no to opportunities that would pull me off course. This isn't about being lazy or avoiding responsibility. Running two different companies, one as a media consultant and one with holistic treatments and life coaching, is the hardest work I've ever done. But it's work I chose. Work that aligns with who I actually am. The moment I start doing things just because someone else expects it, or because I'm afraid of not having a safety net, I feel the old heaviness creeping back. And I've noticed this isn't unique to me. So many people I talk to have this same wiring, but they've learned to override it. They've been told that security trumps passion, that dreams are for kids, that you should be grateful just to have a job. But here's the thing about ignoring a core value like freedom. It doesn't go away. It just turns into resentment, anxiety, and a low-grade depression that you eventually mistake for your personality. So if so many of us want this, a life of meaning, autonomy, and financial stability on our own terms, why do we keep ending up stuck? Over years of coaching and running courses, I've seen the same three barriers appear again and again. First is the mindset piece, the inner story you tell yourself about what you're capable of. Limiting beliefs operate like invisible scripts running in the background, whispering that you're not ready, not smart enough, not the kind of person who succeeds. Second is the confidence gap. And I don't just mean feeling shy at a party. I'm talking about the deep lack of self-trust that makes you second-guess every decision, that keeps you from raising your prices or pitching your idea or walking away from a toxic situation. Third is the money mindset. Most people have a tangled emotional relationship with money that has nothing to do with actual numbers and everything to do with worth. They feel guilty charging what they're worth, or they swing between reckless spending and terrified hoarding. These three things, limiting beliefs, low self-esteem, and a scarcity-based money mindset, form a tripod that holds up the prison of inertia. But there's a fourth element that most personal development books skip, and it's one I became fascinated with after getting burned a few times. The external forces, other people. The world is full of individuals and systems that know exactly how to exploit your self-doubt for their own gain. Some of them are obvious, others are so subtle you don't notice until you're years into a relationship or a job, and you've completely lost touch with what you actually wanted. I'm talking about dark psychology, about manipulation techniques that bypass your rational mind, about guilt trips and gaslighting and love bombing. I'm talking about the dynamics you find in cults, where your identity gets slowly replaced by someone else's agenda. And here is the part nobody tells you. You don't have to join a literal cult to experience cult-like control. A workplace can do it. A friendship can do it. Even a well-meaning family can do it. When your inner compass isn't solid, you become susceptible to anyone who offers you a sense of direction, even if that direction leads straight off a cliff. The question you must leave this mini-course with is this: do you believe your highest values are fundable? Do you believe your freedom, creativity, and authenticity can generate abundance? I really hope you do. Give yourself the time to repeat the course if you feel the need. If you want to learn more, I recommend that you read my book, Find Your Inner Compass. Unlock your core values, confidence, and money mindset to build a life of freedom. Remember that you are capable of so much more than you might think. You deserve a life of freedom and abundance. The cage door is open. Calibrate your compass and start walking. Thank you for taking this course. That anyone can fall into. Then we'll go into the core principles, how to find your inner compass, core values that actually mean something to you, and how the quantum field and practices from Joseph Murphy's philosophy can help you reprogram years of limiting programming. After that, we get practical. I'll walk you through a step-by-step system for aligning your actions, your confidence, your social presence, and your money habits with your highest values. We'll also spend time on recovery, because let's be real, you will mess up, you will face setbacks, and you will encounter people who try to manipulate you back into the old patterns. The goal isn't perfection, it's resilience. And finally, we'll talk about identity, how to make this not just something you do, but someone you become. The person who lives by their inner compass isn't a different species from you. They're just you with the right tools and the courage to use them. Before we go any further, I want you to sit with one question. No need to answer it out loud or write it down. Just let it land. What have you been pretending not to know about your life? Maybe it's that the career path you're on will never make you happy, no matter how many promotions you get. Maybe it's that the relationship you're in is slowly convincing you that your own dreams are unrealistic. Maybe it's that you have a vision for a business or a project that terrifies you because wanting it means risking failure. Honesty is uncomfortable, but it's also the only way out. Everything in this book builds from the assumption that you're ready to look at your life clearly, without the comforting stories you've been telling yourself. The tools, the strategies, the mindset shifts, they all require a foundation of truth. So take a breath Acknowledge whatever has been lurking at the edges of your awareness. You don't have to fix it right now. Just stop pretending it isn't there. Because the moment you do that, you've already begun to shift your frequency. The cage door isn't locked. It never was. You just needed someone to remind you that you can walk out.